In 1343, a church was founded and endowed on this site by John de Davenport and his son Vivian. In 1370, John de Davenport, he donated a further 60 acres and farm buildings. Welcome to History Walks. We're here today at St James and St Paul's Church in Marton in Cheshire to see one of the oldest timber frame churches in Europe. Only a handful of such churches as this remain in England today, making this episode of History Walks so much more special. There's no doubt that the church is a stunning feature in the surrounding landscape of Marton. Founded in 1343 by John de Davenport and his son Vivian, the family seat was just a short distance from here in nearby Capesthorne Hall. The timber frame of the nave is original, dating right back to the 14th century, with the tower that we see today constructed in the year of 1540. Later in this episode, we'll take a look at the two stone effigies lay inside the belfry, believed to be those of Sir John and his son Vivian. We can see here the frame with close studding and also a middle rail. The whole structure rests on a stone plinth and the infill consists of rendered brickwork painted in white. I think you'll agree with me that the effect is absolutely stunning. Now here in the churchyard at Marton stands a stone cross manufactured around about the 14th or 15th century and a fine example of a medieval cross. As is the case with many sites that we film for History Walks, it's the inside of the buildings and the churches that hold the most interesting artefacts and treasures, and today we have the key to take a look around. As we come inside this wonderful church, you can't help but feel the archaic history of this building with its octagonal timber piers, its stone effigies of the 14th century knights and the 14th century medieval doom painting on the west wall. There's even the original font recovered from a field and replaced back in the church during the last century. It's here in the tower room that we find two effigies of the founders of this church, being that of John de Davenport and his son Vivian. Carved as knights in the 14th century, their heads rest upon the Davenport crest, strongly suggesting that these are indeed the Davenports. Now, the making of History Walks gives me a privilege to be able to see such wonderful ancient treasures such as this other stone effigy, again dated to the 14th century. History is everywhere to be found, and it's worth making that effort to go out and look for it. Above our heads in the belfry remain three ancient bells, the first one stating to the Queen and the realm and dated to 1598. The other two bells are dated to 1663 and 1758 respectively. It's here on the west wall above my head that medieval paintings were discovered in 1930 when the plaster was removed. These paintings are often referred to as doom paintings. The painting likely represents the Last Judgment, a common subject of medieval church paintings. However, it's unusual to see such paintings divided into sections by the surrounding timbers. Also here in the church are two 18th century oil paintings by Edward Penny portraying Moses and Aaron carrying the Ten Commandments. In 1547, the Chancery Act scrapped all chancery chapels such as this one, with the proceeds being taken by King Edward VI. In years to come, both the land and chapel were recovered by the Davenport family, securing the future of this wonderful building. There's no doubt in my mind that St James and St Paul's Church here in Marton in Cheshire is a beautiful example of a medieval timber frame church. The church is usually open most days to allow as many people as possible to see for themselves the beauty and history of this stunning place of worship, a place that has stood here since the 14th century. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your visit here today to St James and St Paul's Church in Marton in Cheshire. Why not join us again soon when we take yet another history walk into the past?